Hello and welcome back to Captain of Industry. So we left off looking at sorting out our new farm setup and our food processing last time, which is why I'm over here in the blueprint area. As you can see, not much has happened over here. We had the farms put down, we got some belts sorted. That is all unnecessary now because that is not what we're using. So I haven't recorded in a couple of days, and the reason I haven't recorded in a couple of days is because I've been a little bit busy. In fact, so busy that I forgot to get yesterday's video. I'm recording this on Friday, so there wasn't a video yesterday. This video is recorded, I just simply forgot to do the screenshot and get it scheduled. But I've been a bit busy because I've been doing this. Bum, 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 bum. This took me many hours to get sorted. It may not look like a lot, but it took me a long time. So we had the belts done before, so there are 4 rows of loose and 4 rows of flat underneath, all coming into balancers. I was struggling to get the pipe setup working in a way that I was happy with. I think I've now sorted that, so we have 2 water sources that come into a balancer at the bottom, and what they go into the water tank. I probably have way too many balancers for the fertilizer, but the way it basically works is these ones here are essentially pointless. They just split the output between carrying on and going into the system to feed into the farm. And then we have 2 balancers over here. The bottom one takes in fertilizer 2, if I can find a place I can click on it. Takes in fertilizer 2 and fertilizer 1 and prioritizes fertilizer 1. I think I was clicked on the top one, yeah. And then that is output to the balancer on top. The balancer on top prioritizes the feedback from the previous balancer. So in theory, we're prioritizing fertilizer 2, so fertilizer 2 goes into this balancer, and then that is sent out as a priority. So in theory, it should prioritize fertilizer 2, then it should prioritize fertilizer 1, and then it should prioritize the organic fertilizer. Whether that's actually going to work or whether we're going to have problems like we do in the existing farms, we don't know. So then, let's come over to this, because it's largely done. There's a couple of things we want to do before we start considering building it, but we'll talk about that in a minute. So, we have 4 belts each coming in. So I've come up with this little system down here to get the food out. So the 4 belts go into 4 sorters, which feed out the various food, whatever it is we need. The output from the 4 sorters, as in the sorted food, so the vegetables in this case, go into a balancer over here, which prioritizes sending food sideways down into the food processing area. If it can't do that because everything's full, it will send it back into the system where it hits a balancer, where it merges with the bottom 2 lanes, and then all the 4 lanes go into another balancer just to make sure everything's quite evenly spread and gets sent on. This is exactly the same as this. Is just for the flat belts, and it's bigger. It's bigger because it starts at height 3, and that's because I put lifts in to get the belts up to the slightly higher sorters at the top there. In retrospect, that's probably unnecessary. I was like, let's try and make it as compact as possible so we can fit a few in, but there's only 2 lots of the flat belt sorters anyway, so it's sort of a bit pointless, but they're there now. Because we got lifts in, we have to go up to height 3. So this is the same thing, just a bit wider. Sorters into balancer, prioritizes out, otherwise it feeds it back into the system. And then we have the actual processing. I've tried to order in a sensible way. Whether that's the case or not, I don't know. So it pulls out vegetables first. Vegetables go into this balancer here, which prioritize going into the vegetable box to be sent on to the people. Town, there we go. If it can't do that, it will send it into these assemblers, which will try to make food packs, which we don't really need. Food packs are only really used to do for crew supplies, for space travel-y type stuff. So we don't really need them, but if we have enough resources to make them, then sure, we'll make a few food packs, whatever. Then we have fruit comes out, goes into storage, hits a balancer, goes down into the fruit box down here. If it can't do that, there is another output which sends it into these baking units, which use a little bit of fruit to make cakes, and a bunch of other stuff that will come to. Then we get into the flat belt. So wheat comes out first. Wheat doesn't go into a balancer because wheat only has one purpose, which is to be turned into flour. So all of the wheat that comes up gets turned into flour. The flour hits this balancer, which prioritizes output into the bread. If it cannot make bread, then it has 2 other outputs, one of which goes over here to the cake making, and one of which goes over here to the sausage making somewhere. Not that we have chickens, but you know, that's something we're going to work on. We have 2 more. Oh yes, because the bread comes out, hits a balancer, prioritizes filling up the bread storage to feed the town. If it can't do that, the bread comes up here to try to make food packs with, is it just called meat? Yeah, meat steaks or eggs, both of which again need chickens. Next thing out, sugarcane. Sugarcane's a bit more of an interesting one. Oh, there's the sausages. The sausages are right there. So they take a bit of flour, some entrails, and some salt. So I put that there just because it's a bit closer to the flour. It probably should have gone closer to the chickens, but it doesn't matter. It's fine, whatever. So the sugarcane comes out. The sugarcane does not go into a box, as people do not eat sugarcane. The sugarcane is used for one purpose, which is to make sugar and a little bit of biomass. The biomass just gets belted on down towards the end of the system for the waste production. The sugar hits this balancer, which prioritizes this output. This output is going to go all the way over to the medical side to do the antibiotics. If it can't do antibiotics, it hits, where are we, sugar? Sugar? You. If it can't do antibiotics, then it hits this balancer, which prioritizes going out this belt, which is going to be for cakes. Where are cakes? Yep, sugar goes to the cakes. If it can't do cakes, it hits this belt, which goes somewhere else, which goes down here into the fermentation tanks, where sugar is a secondary recipe to make the ethanol. But we're going to, if we can, focus on using the corn mash. Talking of corn mash, corn's next. Corn comes out, hits a balancer, which is buried a little bit further back in this case. That balancer says prioritize sending corn into this bucket to send on to the farm. If you can't do that, corn hits this, which prioritizes an output down here where we turn the corn into corn mash. If you can't do that, it then sends the additional corn over here, where it's got a secondary recipe to turn corn into snacks with a bit of salt, a bit of oil, and a bit of plastic. Again, it's a secondary recipe because the corn has its primary function being to be turned into corn mash. That's what we actually want it for. So potatoes are going to be the priority food input here, even though they make slightly less snacks, but potatoes do have a higher yield from the farm, so it probably all balances out. The corn mash gets turned into ethanol. The ethanol gets sent down the system over this pipe here to go into the medical facilities. We'll come to that in a minute. What's next? Soybeans. Soybeans do hit a balancer. The balancer prioritizes sending the soybeans down here to turn them into tofu with a little bit of water, sulfur, limestone. And that produces the tofu and some animal feed. The tofu gets stuck in a box, as do the snacks that we didn't mention. And the animal feed gets sent up the system. Or the animal feed actually goes here. The animal feed hits these buckets here. These are the animal feed buckets. Then we have a new crop we have not yet grown, canola. Canola has a single purpose. Well, actually, no, it has. Oh, no, it does have a single purpose, which is to be turned into cooking oil. It can also turn soybeans into cooking oil, but you only get half the cooking oil, and you also need the same amount of soybeans, and they have a significantly lower yield on the farm. So that's going to be a secondary recipe. Canola only exists to be turned into oil, which is what these are for. The oil goes into a bucket. The reason I've put the oil in the bucket is purely because if we look at the recipes, there is a recipe which uses a little bit of oil for other things. This diamond paste, I don't really know what that's used for. Lenses, which are used for electronics for. So we are going to need a bit of a stock of oil at some point, so I thought I'd put a bucket in for that. Okay, right. Yeah, so that's that. I was wondering why I had 2 priority inputs, but we've got 2 inputs coming from the buckets. What is next? So we have the animal feed buckets here. The animal feed buckets take input from the couple of things which make animal feed over there. They hit this balancer here. It then prioritizes putting the animal feed. If I can get the balancer. There we go. Prioritizes outputting animal feed into these buckets to fill them up to feed the chickens. If it can't fill them up, if they are full up and it can't add any more, the animal feed gets sent down the system to be processed in the waste area. We have chicken farms. Chickens produce eggs. So the eggs come out, they go up, and they hit a balancer, which prioritizes sending the eggs back down into the egg storage. If you enable slaughtering, they will also produce chicken carcasses, which we will almost certainly want to do once we have chickens. The chicken carcasses come over here into these food processors where they get turned into meat and a little bit of entrails. And if we can't do that because there's too much meat, then it will turn chickens into meat trimmings, which will get turned into sausages, which is way back up there. So there's a belt that sends them all the way back. The meat obviously goes into a box. This balancer, there's two balancers here. What are you doing? So you're prioritizing outputting the meat down there. Otherwise, the meat goes into the snack production. If we can't do that, where are we? And then the other one will be the entrails. The entrails have a balancer with only two things at the moment, and that's just in case we have too many entrails, because you can burn the entrails. So if we need to, we'll do that. Then we come into the medical side of things. So we are producing antibiotics from sugar, ammonia, and oxygen. The ammonia comes from these chemical plants here, which take in a little bit of hydrogen, some nitrogen. The nitrogen it gets from over here. The hydrogen will probably belt in from down in this system somewhere. Then we have the ethanol and plastic getting turned into disinfectant. We have medical equipment getting made from steel and plastic. Then we have the medical supplies 1, the medical supplies 2. That's all well and good. These here are just sort of like, you might notice this bit doesn't look as complete as everything else. And there's a very good reason for that. Because we are about to research Medical 3. So I know we're going to need some assemblers for the Medical 3. And I know we're going to need at least 2 chemical plants, because they are going to make the anesthetics and the morphine, which is also going to require a different crop again. So we're going to have to work that in. So that's why I haven't really finished this side off. And then we come down into the waste, which I sort of started planning, but again, it's all going to have to move based on when this is done anyway. So this is the vague order for the waste. So we have animal feed and biomass spare, which has been generated, coming down here, gets turned into compost. That hits this belt, comes over here. We have these 4, and that's because this is the only 4 food types this can do. So this will turn potatoes, corn, wheat, and excess soybean into animal feed. The animal feed gets punted back up into the animal feed boxes. If that's full, the animal feed comes all the way back down again, where it will hit this. Oh no, we don't have excess animal feed. Oh no, it's there. It will hit this, and it will deal with the animal feed there and turn it into compost. These deal with all of the food types, including the 4 which are getting turned into animal feed, because if we're full of animal feed, we need to deal with them as well, I guess. Also, excess eggs and meat trimmings. I don't know if we need the eggs, because if we fill it with eggs, does it cause a problem? Probably not. But if we've got excess eggs, what do you deal with them? And the meat trimmings, again, I don't know if we need to deal with it, but it's there. This produces fuel gas and compost. What are we going to do with all that? Not really sure. The compost, I might just add to a bucket and globally dump it. Because, yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll look at doing an extra bunch of processing for this stuff, because the compost gets turned into organic fertilizer. We could get ammonia relatively easy, so we could make that, and we could probably make that relatively easily. So the only reason the fertilizer is here is because these produce ammonia, but we can also produce ammonia from this. That's only 6 ammonia, and it also doubles the power. That is a Mark 1 chemical plant. If we did a Mark 2, it makes 12. So, I don't know. Maybe we'll look at making fertilizer locally as well. That's an extra thing. And then carbon dioxide is going to have to get processed, because 1 or 2 of these produce carbon dioxide. Also, the fuel gas from these, we're probably going to just end up burning a lot of that, which is going to create us some steam, which we will probably just vent or just turn into extra water. There'll be about, I think it's a 1/3 loss. That also produces carbon dioxide, which can go into these, which can create us some lovely, lovely graphite, which we're not really using a lot of at the moment, but at some point we are going to want to migrate over to arc furnaces. I just want to be in a position where I know we can actually get enough graphite. So that's where we are. So the next thing we need to do to get this ready is we need to make sure, because I want all of this is not going to be how it actually is. I want all the storage boxes and these belts. Oh, by the way, the belts come out. There are 3 lanes of belts starting at height 1, going up to height 4. Yep, so we've got a height 5 can go on top at the moment. This is what it looks like at the end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We're going to have to get medical 2 or 3, sorry, added to that. So there will be 12 belts. The reason it starts at height 1 is for the products we need to bring into the system. It's easier if they can go at ground level under the belts. It also means if at some point we need to get snacks out for some reason, we can just belt them out and put an extra little buffer box on the outside. So I thought that made a lot of sense. I did have it very different. I did have 2 lanes of 5 with an extra one next to it, and then I had like size 5 lifts coming out of the storages and going over to another lift, which brought it back down, and it just seemed a bit silly. I thought doing that with the space underneath makes a lot more sense. So that's the belts out. But yes, all of these and the belts out, I want these all shifted down quite a bit. Ideally to probably about here-ish. So they're sort of in line with this here. That just means then we've got lots of room to expand these, because you can see these have all been built in a, I'm going to say modular. It's not very modular because I couldn't just copy these and stick them on the end. But these can all be expanded downwards very easily, which is a very deliberate decision on my part. Particularly the farms. I don't know if 6 farms is going to be anywhere near enough. I really struggled with chickens previously, but I struggled with getting animal food, and hopefully this will be fine. I have also gone through and I have made a bit of a count of the food that we will need for all of this. So I know what food we need for our current products, so not including the snacks, the sausages, the cake, anything like that. So I know what we need for that, but planning ahead, I think what we're going to need is 40 odd potatoes, 60 corn, 26 veg, 16 fruit, 45 sugarcane, 32 wheat, 16 canola, 18 soy, and then steel, plastic, hydrogen, salt, and oxygen. All of those extra ones, the non-food ones, are largely fine apart from salt, but we'll talk about that in a moment. And I've also gone through and I have listed how many of these we need to actually build. So we need 1 food pack, no cakes at the moment because we don't have eggs, 2 flour mills, 1 bread, blah, 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 just to figure out exactly what we actually need to build for the output. And then I've set the farms up. So this is on the assumption that we have full fertility coming in. I don't know if that's going to be the case, but right now I have split the farms so they do a single crop, because if we have full fertilizer coming in, there's no need to rotate the crops. Don't know if that's a good idea or not, but I've set those all up so they are ready to go. And that's about it. So what do we need to do before then? Well, like I say, we need to sort this area down here out. Let me just move my notepad so I can get my keyboard back to an appropriate place. So what do we want to do? We're going to come down here. We want to say mining. We want to mine out. We want to get rid of this little bit of land on top. And we want to get rid of this and this for the minute. And yes, you're going to complain you've got nothing to mine. Just wait. So we can see here, if we want to come up to this line here, we probably want to mine out everything up to probably at least there. Which we're going to need to do from here. So we're going to probably want to mine out that. If we're coming down to this line, we're also going to need to mine out some of this, but we don't necessarily need to do this straight away. If we come up here and do that bit, that's fine. We might need to come a little bit further out as well. And we probably will need to come down a bit to make sure we actually get all of the iron underneath. But I guess we can do that afterwards. But I think we're going to need at least that. I'm also going to want to get the Flattenator team up here, who are currently destroying this mountain, which is great, but we're going to want to change that, because I just want them flattening out this bit up here. Now, how am I going to get them doing that with that there? I don't really know. We might have to just do it afterwards. So we're going to want to make this all flat, and we're going to want to make this flat, and we're going to want to make this flat. So if I come back to the Flattenator team and I say you are going to come over here, you are going to do hit rectangle first. You're going to do just this. I don't want you going down into the mine. I just want you flattening this bit on top. Then you're going to do that. Excellent. The next thing we want to do is think about sorting out this and this. This bit in particular, because I want to have this sorted so we can say all the belts and pipes can come down in a very nice, neat manner. Right now, it would have to be a bit higgledy-piggledy, which we don't really want. So what do we want here? That's a very good question. What I want, basically, is a ramp. But where do I want that ramp? How much of this do I want to cut off? How much of this do I want to fill in? Good question, me. We don't have another tier of research, so we don't necessarily need more space here. I think we do have another tier of electronics, but that should be fine. So maybe if we just say, like, here. So we want this to be flattened off. That's fine. And then from there, we want a ramp, which is going up, I'm guessing, because it never does what you want it to do. Pressing the wrong button. There we go. And then we want a ramp to come off of here to come down to ground level. So we're going to want that. That'll take it pretty much level with that. So we want that and that. Yeah, I think so. We will then take this out an extra square because we're going to want to, stop a second, think about this. We're going to want this to have dirt on it, aren't we? So actually, undo all of that. Because we're going to want that dumped flat, down, down one more. But we don't want them necessarily digging out. So let's just do dumping. Where did I say? Up to this line or this line? I think it was this line. Nope, you're at 14. So if we go down and say dumping designation 13 to there. And then if we say leveling, and we want you to do that. But I don't want you to go down that far because that's very unnecessary. We want you to go flat. So something like that. I think that's roughly where we had it before. And then we will come back to this when this is done and we will put another layer on top, which will be the dirt. So we might have to do something extra over here. As you can see, this is going to completely mess with these belts because we're going to dig all that out. In fact, we're also going to want to say flat U. You also need to be gone. So these belts are going to have to move. Oh, woe is me. So what are we going to do with these? We are probably going to break these here. Bring them down here and put a bridge in here, I think. So let's get a lovely little vehicle ramp. Pop that at the bottom of there. And then we'll just bring them flat across here. So we'll probably need another one about here. So let's get rid of these. The other thing I then want to do is just check our other dumping designations. So they finished with this. That's great. They've done that, so we don't need any of that anymore. That's all been done, so we can get rid of all of that. And that. And that. So are we dumping everything over here at the moment? Yeah, let's get rid of that. I don't want you dumping over there anymore. I want all of you working on this. This is the primary project. Because we also want to do the same over here when we decide where this line is going to be, which I'm thinking maybe just level with this, which means there's a lot of rock to dig out. But we want to have space to get a ramp in for this one as well, which is going to be, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 or 11 tiles long. And therefore, so we're talking about 3 big squares of ramp alone. So if we did that, the ramp finishing here, we'd need to get the... Just leave that there for now. The height cut off to there. So maybe we'll go a little bit further back. Right, let's just have a quick look around. I just want to make sure there's no other dumping designations. There is over here. Don't do that either. Excellent. So now you have something to do. Okay, so Flattenator team is up there, and I think you've already finished. Nope, I think you're just waiting for trucks. That's fine. Don't care about the tree harvester. We've got high supply of sugarcane. Yep, we do. Now, the main reason that's a problem is because if sugarcane starts backing up on this belt, then it'll never go anywhere. So we are supposed to be dealing with sugarcane over here. But obviously not very fast. And they cannot be upgraded. So we could change these to be in... Yeah, let's do that. Let's take these. Copy that. Put this into there. And then Unity those. Still need to be able to get rid of the fuel gas, of course, which is a separate problem, which is why it's not dealing with it. So how do we get rid of the fuel gas? We could burn the fuel gas off. I don't really want to do that. We could put in another fuel gas storage tank, which will stop trucks being able to get up here to the hydrogen, so I'm not sure I want to do that either. We have a high supply of naphtha, so let's... Oh, they're already all on pause, so that's fine. What do we do with the fuel gas? As a super temporary option, I am just going to put in another fuel gas storage over here. A very big one. Which is just going to take in some stuff from this and whap it in there. And then we'll think about feeding that back into the system at another point. But at least that's somewhere for the fuel gas to go, so we can start processing some of this extra food so that doesn't break. We have negative unity. Why? Why do we have -2 unity? Got a lot of edicts going, which is fine. Got a contract for this. So if you pause this, the contract is still active. What happens if I pause all of those? Let's just go back to this a second. So 3 contracts, 573. If I pause all of those... 2 contracts. Yeah, so that one was costing us huge amounts of unity for some reason. But that's fine, because now it's paused. Which means I should also come over here and pause the sulfur ones as well, because we have no real need for that at the moment. Right, Flattenator. So you need a little bit more to mine up here. That's absolutely fine. We also want you to get all of this down to level 3, because I don't want any dirt up here, but I guess we'll worry about that in a minute. Terraforming, mining. I just need to do your area, don't I? So, Flattenator, edit area, do this bit. And you have nothing to do because you are full of rock, which should be getting emptied. It is, it's just we're very busy with trucks. We could get some more trucks built, which wouldn't hurt, and maybe also some more diggers would also be sensible. In terms of trucks, yeah, let's get some more big boys done, because there is 0 of them at the moment. Shift 5, shift click does 5. Whoa, stop. Cancel, 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 cancel. Hydrogen, shift 5. There we go. Let's get some trucks done. Okay, and also just Unity deliver, so no one has to chuck the hydrogen across. That'd be useful. So right, so they're doing this. That's looking beautiful already. Oh, we need to do the belts. That's something we didn't do. Okay, so we're waiting for that to be done. So we also need to just take off the very end there. Let's unity that. That's a problem because if obviously this all runs out, then we're in trouble. Right, so we are also going to want a bridge here. So let's pop in another bridge, which is going to go... we want this... I mean, we're about to do all of this as well, aren't we? But I suppose we'll just do this corner last. So let's pop this one in here. Yeah, it should be fine. Let's get the copper, please. You are going to come here. You are going to come here and here. And then I need you to make your way down here somehow, some way. Beautiful. And then can you go down, down, down? You can go to there. That's fine. And then I can bring you down there. So you're going to go there. You're going to come through here. I'm going to move that bridge. Because you're going to go there. And then I want you to go up to there. But without that silly little turn. Ah, you need that silly little turn because that's in a slightly silly place. Right, if we cut this, put that there. We get this one down here. Down here. You can come along here. And I want you to connect to that. Perfect. As with all things Captain of Industry, this will hopefully be quite a temporary solution. That is the plan. Because once we have the new ramps all built. That's because you're at height 1 for some reason. I'm just going to put you there because I don't... How are you being so stupid? So you can get there. Sometimes you can get there. There you go. This is being incredibly frustrating. Okay. Just do that, and I'll hopefully stop you being very annoying. There we go. And you're going to come all the way between no, no, no. Yes, yes, yes. Over to here, and then up to this top belt. Perfect. And we need all of that built super duper mega immediately. Cool, we have a low supply of rubber, but that's somewhat expected. I don't think we can do anything to upgrade these. No, we are going to need a lot of rubber though, so I think I will probably get another one of these made. Don't unity that. Do unity that. These make 24. So does that need to be a Mark? Yeah, that does need to be a Mark II, doesn't it? Let's upgrade that to a Mark II. Perfect. Okie dokie. Right then. That's going to use up a lot more of our naphtha, so I'm going to pause a couple of those for the moment. You are struggling to find a destination you can reach. Is that because you got yourself stuck? Yep. Did you just... I'm going to take dirt out of our global dumping, because there are other places they can dump dirt. I'm hesitant to do there for the minute. Suppose we could get that filled in. Oh, they could start filling in this area, couldn't they? Let's do that for the dirt. So, dirt dumpinator, edit area. You're going to come and do all of this up to that black line. And then we want terraforming, dumping, height 4. Doesn't look flat from there. Height 4. Just come in, fill all this in for me. No, not all of that. We don't want you going into the sea. That would be stupid. So you can go up to about there, I guess. I'm going to get rid of a little bit there, because that looks like it's going to dump stuff into the sea. Okay, and then we may as well... Not too much, because we are going to want them to be able to get down there still. So you can do that. Right, okay. Ah. No, you can get over there. Why are you going that way? It's probably because those bridges weren't in place. Oh, I know. I think I see a problem. They can get over there, but they can't get across there. So let's put another bridge in there, which will stop them, because they're going to go all the way around there to get over here. How is this looking? This is looking pretty fantastic. With those belts moved, we need to wait for these belts to empty. We can delete those belts, and then we will mark this as a flattenator area. Oh, progress, progress, progress. So the next thing is this. We need to decide where we want this to go. The flattenator has finished that, which is great. I kind of want them going down there and helping with this, but we just got to put the iron ore at the moment. This is going to really hold us up. So where else can the flattenator crew go at the moment? I suppose just send them back down there. Just temporarily. Just because if nothing else, it gets us a lot of rock. Do you know what I like? Lots of rock. Lots and lots of rock. We probably are going to need a new ramp in somewhere here. So let's also pop a little ramp in somewhere. So if we go there, 4, 4. So if we say that, then trucks can come over there and dump some stuff. Cool. I definitely took dirt out of the global dumping. I did. Excellent. We are making more dirt over here. But that can only go into this place. Okay. Phone call from the wife. But we're back. We're back. So these are going to fill this in no time, which is great. I was thinking we could get this area started. So we're probably going to want a ramp in here. Ramp that down 1. And then flatten off and start planning where all of this is going to go. Because we want to get rid of all of the rock here. Not that we need to. Not that we need to. I just want it to be prettier, quite frankly. I just want it to be prettier. We obviously want to try to avoid the iron. Because regardless of whether we are filling or digging this bit out, the rock needs to be gone. Why did you do that? Why did you do that? So I don't need that one. Oh, stop it. We do need a couple there. We need a few over there. That can come across there and one there. And we're going to need a good chunk of... Not you. That and that. And then all of that. And then a little bit up there. And obviously this is what the flattenator crew can be working on in the meantime. Probably do that one, but not that one. And then that little corner there. And then you can just come across to there. And then all of that. And all of that. And all of that. And all of that. And all of that. Excellent. Right. Flattenator crew. Where are you? Here you are. Edit area. You are now going to be doing this. I don't really want to cross over with the iron mine. I suppose it doesn't matter too much. So let's go up to there. Oh, and a bit further down. And a bit further down. Cool. So we have probably... How are we doing with these? We've made a few of them. We also have a whole bunch of them there. That's because they were delivering stuff down, I guess. Now, what would you have been delivering? You can't deliver any of that stuff. So what are you just sat there for? Genuinely don't know. Yeah, we've got a lot of these just sat doing nothing at the moment. Is that because we don't have a lot of rock for you to move? Because we don't have a lot of rock for you to move. And the Flattenator crew is now going to be off doing different things, of course. Maybe it's time for us to have another crew. So I'm going to pop a couple of big old diggies, big old diggery-doos on the end there. And we're going to have an extra crew that are come over here and they're just going to dig up some rock for me. That's all I want them to do, just dig up lots and lots of rock. Because we need lots and lots of rock and lots of slag to fill all of this in. It's looking fantastic. I did do that to a lower level, didn't I? I did. Good job, me. Excellent. And then at some point... Yeah, no, that's okay. Yeah, we need to get the digger crew over there. Saying that, these belts are probably all done, so we can get rid of you, we can get rid of you, we can get rid of you. We do need to build whatever that is, though. That's a very necessary part of that belt. Without that, we don't have any copper. But we're doing okay for copper, so that's cool. Why do we have so much copper down here? Oh, because the belts feed into those buckets. I've got myself confused. It's all right. It's all good. It's all fine. Everyone's happy. All of these boxes are looking great. We are full of servers, so we've got lots of more data centers we could expand by, but we've got oodles of teraflops at the moment, so I'm not concerned about that. Everything else looking okay. Steel, mechanical parts, household goods is looking good. Something someone mentioned is that I could now bring the recyclables online, but I did now go and delete that belt, didn't I? So it's just a bit of a pain. We do have recyclables where? From nuclear there. Not that I can really fit a recycling plant in anywhere here. But fine, I'm not... Well, am I worried? It'd be nice to have it recycled, wouldn't it? It would be nice. Don't have to deal with this mess. We do have a space there they could get through. This one would be challenging because of that belt. Or they could maybe come through there. But they couldn't get through there because of that. It's just a massive hassle right now, and I don't know if I can be bothered. Right. We also need to get... Oh, you are still researching. But you're researching quite slow for some reason. I thought you took in 48. We're making slightly more than 48, but not a lot. So let's do that. Maybe we expand this. We can run 2 of them. That would probably be useful. What do you need? 16 reds. So we would need 64 altogether. You make 12, but you haven't been upgraded. So currently we're making 48. If we upgrade you, we'll be on 6. If I upgrade 2 of these... That should get us enough to put down another... the reason I put it that side is purely because the belts are a bit silly on this side, but I'm going to have to sort that anyway. Do I need another 2? Hang on a second. 16, 32... And we need like 96. What's 96 divided by 16? 96 divided by 16. 6. We'd need 6 of them. Well, if we can get more, that's better than less, isn't it? So that's, you know, that's something. That's something. All the rest of it looks okay. And I would like to get this one done as well, really. So let's bring this back. And then how much are you making? 16. So after, oh, it's already a Mark II there, so that's fine. This one we can bring into here. And then we can Unity that rather than waiting for that to do anything. And then if we bring this up 1, turn off the snapping, put that there, bring that to here, and then can turn snapping back on, connect you to there, and then connect you to there. Okay, let's Unity all of that. So it's not quite enough to run 2 of them full time, but it is more. We now need, what, 16 times 5? 16 times 5 is 80. Yeah, we're making enough of those. Okay. Absolutely fine. How are we doing? How are we doing, guys and gals? We are doing wonderfully. We've got one of the big excavators done, so we're going to bring the Flattenatorio team back online. So, before you go and do anything, because I don't know where you're going at the moment, let's give you a couple of trucks. Do you have any export routes? No. Do you need export routes? Possibly? Because otherwise you're going to dump rock and dirt in here. Is it a shorter drive up there? It might be. So let's have an export route to... do I send it to the tower? What do I feel like I've got an import route there? Export route. No, I'd send it to that, don't I? That. 1, 2, 3. You can go to there. Nope, not you. Not you, not you, you, and you. And also, I will add you to this one, just in case. And then if you happen to dig up a single bit of dirt, and we have free dirt, you can go in there. Okay, excellent. And then we need to give you an area, because currently you're looking at that, which is no good for anyone. So you're going to come over here. You are going to dig up lots of this for me with your big old mega excavator. These guys are doing sterling work over here. I'm guessing you got mixed loads and you've just got rock. Ah, but it's because you've got a specific export route that you're not going to go and dump it straight away. We can't really change that unless we add... No, because there's no tower that's doing that, is there? It's probably fine. It's probably fine. I'm okay with it. Yeah, the old slow boy is coming across. Yeah, we don't have any small excavators anymore, do we? Yeah, we just need more rock and stuff. That's what we want. We just want more rock and stuff. You're producing dirt, but our compost situation seems to be largely under control. Let's have a little bit of a look at our fuel gas situation. Is less under control. So you can turn fuel gas into hydrogen and carbon dioxide. Can you just vent hydrogen? You can, for no penalty. So that makes 24 carbon dioxide, but needs a little bit of steam to do that. So maybe we just start saying vent excess hydrogen, because we don't want to vent fuel gas, because there is a pollution cost. You could burn it in a boiler, which gets you more carbon dioxide, actually. We could just vent the steam, or put the steam back into the cooling towers. But then you're kind of just wasting water. Or we take a little bit of steam and do a 1-to-1, but the more carbon dioxide is going to be very useful at some point. Not so much right now, because we're full of graphite. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm a little unsure of what to do. You might be able to tell because I'm just staring at a largely static screen. There's no cost to venting hydrogen, but then we'll just have a bunch of stuff producing hydrogen for no reason. So what we would need is these. So let's put a balancer in here. Is this hydrogen? Oh, that's steam. Where does your hydrogen go? Let's pick one that's actually built. Where does your hydrogen go? It goes here. This is hydrogen. So we could put a balancer in here. Pipe balancer in there. Don't unity that. Because this is only hydrogen from these systems. It doesn't go anywhere else. It doesn't take hydrogen from anywhere else. It's only the hydrogen that this is producing. So if we take that balancer and we prioritize that output, and then we just take a Mark 1 pipe, pop it down there, and then we build a small smokestack, so we're limiting ourselves to only 60 hydrogen at a time, which doesn't go in there. Wait a second, where does hydrogen go? I'm sure I just saw that you can just vent hydrogen, can't you? Oh, it goes into a flare. Oh, that's fine. We can flare instead. So we need waste. We need a flare. So we'll pop that there. And then we're going to get rid, just in case, of all of those. And you're just going to vent 48 hydrogen a time. So that's more than we're producing in theory. But it just means that if we are full of hydrogen, these can actually get rid of some of that fuel gas that we do not want. And that produces no pollution. So there's not a massive downside, other than we will maybe be using more fuel gas than we need to. But on the other hand, we just seem to be full of fuel gas. So that's just a little temporary solution. It's all temporary solutions to try and ease that load slightly. Right, you are getting there. Those pipes are gone, so we can say, I mean, what you guys are doing is necessary. Where are you going? Are you going to go fill up on fuel? Did we ever build a hydrogen fuel depot? I'm not convinced that we did, you know. Yeah, not convinced that we did. Where could we put that? I suppose we could just put it like here, couldn't we? So fuel station, hydrogen fuel station. So we're just going to pop you down here, somewhere in this mess, there is a hydrogen pipe. I want to get a pipe connected to you, and I want you to come out. But you're going to very much struggle because it is a disaster. So we could come off of this one instead. Not quite. Okay. But we could come out there. Now, that is hydrogen, isn't it? Yes. So let's unity both of those, and then let's assign 4 hydrogen trucks. No, let's not. Let's do the diesel ones, because these trucks might just be sat around doing significantly less. And then let's also build this one. That might help. And that'll stop the excavators, the very slow excavators, from coming all the way over here to do that. Do we have the second excavator yet? My word. They are slow. You're waiting for material delivery because we just don't have the vehicle parts. Do we need to up our vehicle part production if we're going to be doing lots of this? It seems like it, doesn't it? So these use 8, and these produce 4. These produce 16. So if we just upgraded all of these, sort of like that. That seems fine. That is going to increase our electronics usage. We're just going to have to keep a bit of an eye on that. Obviously, we don't want to have any issues. It would probably be very sensible to put a balancer in here, wouldn't it? Just so we can say, obviously, prioritize the output down that way. So I think that does carry on to other stuff, does it? No, it doesn't. It literally just goes down there to feed those. Oh, no, it does carry on as well. But that's fine. At least we're then saying don't send any electronics down here if we don't have a lot of electronics. Just in case we start running low. But hopefully we'll be okay, and we can also upgrade more of these if we need to. So, how's this going now? So these now produce 32. So that belt, in theory, needs to be upgraded. These are taking in 16 of those, so at some point, I think this belt needs to be upgraded. And possibly this one. And then these kick out 8, so that's not going to be a problem. They use... What, is it a problem? No, because that's 32, so that's absolutely fine. That belt's paused. That's why we're not getting a lot of vehicle parts in. Does that mean we've had trucks delivering stuff there? It probably does. Let's not use trucks to do that. Let's just remember that that belt is paused if we do that again. And obviously the reason that's paused, so output to belts or pipes, only if you're full. So you've come to collect some to take them where? Yeah, that's what I was hoping. So I just want to make sure we have enough in storage that we can just keep these filled up. Because that's more important for us. We could put in, where are we? Over here. We could put in bigger storage, but I don't know if we need bigger storage. Not enough input of these. It's because we're just taking a lot out at the moment to go elsewhere, and we're not going to send any more on the... So maybe we bring that down to like... What can the truck carry? 60. So let's say 60 instead. Anyway, that one is done as well. So the Flatanitorior. You're our rock crew. How are you doing? You seem to be waiting for trucks a lot. Let's give you a couple more trucks. You guys are doing pretty fantastic up there. You guys are doing pretty amazingly over here. That's almost done. Ready to get the dirt layer on top of there. We then do need to bring this across here. But that's just going to look so much neater. So much neater. And I think we've got enough space here to do the medical and to do this. I think. Yeah, that's supposed to be paused. That's fine. We may as well pause this one again and that belt. Because you are waiting for... Are we not producing enough of these now? Because you're waiting for these. You produce 12, you use 24. Oh, hang on. Yeah, because we need to upgrade a couple of those, don't we? Of course. Because you use 12, you produce 12, you use 24. So yeah, we need more of them. So we are now using 48, 50, no wait, 48 plus 24? 72? And we're not making 72 there. So we're going to probably need to get this done as well. Probably means this might need to be... Oh, you don't even have recipes. Wow. There you go. I mean, we've now got oodles of them all of a sudden, so that's probably fine. You are still struggling a little bit. So we've got 24, 48, yeah, 72. You use 24, 48, 72. So we should have the exact amount coming in, but we seem to be struggling a little bit, don't we? We also don't have a lot of glass getting down here. Why is that? Simply because that one there. Let's upgrade this. So we're taking in glass here, which means we don't have a full belt here. With that one sped up, there should be a constant full belt now. But we're then taking some to go to household goods. We're also taking these down here. Some are going into vehicle parts. So maybe we should also upgrade this one. Just so they can come down here faster and keep these belts a bit fuller, because that seems to be a bit of a bottleneck at the moment. Okay, the Flatinatorior has no place to dump products. What have you dug up that you can't dump? Rock? It's because that's full. And no one else accepts single load products. Yeah. What if we build a new tower which will pop over here, and this is going to be single load dump. So you can dump those things. I don't care about that. You don't have any trucks assigned. You are going to have an area over here for now, and that'll have to change. And then these are also going to export to this tower. So what I think that's going to do is it says if you've got a single load of stuff that you can just dump without having to worry about it, you can export it to this tower, which will dump it over here. Now, obviously, that's all pretty much full. It is now full. Oh, that is wonderful timing. Thank you so, so much. Okay. In which case, you guys... when we're looking Flatinatorior, you guys actually need to come over here now. And start doing that. No, I don't think there's any dumping needs to be done there. We are going to need to do some level of dumping over here. We just need to decide where this is going to go. We probably don't want it... Yeah, we want the ramp to end like there. So we're probably going to want it to go pretty much level with that. So there's only a tiny bit of dumping needs doing, actually. Okay, because I thought this was going to come down further. Maybe like down to here. But if we do that over to here, then the ramp would get in the way. I suppose we don't have to ramp all the way. We don't have to ramp all the way across. We've got no place to dump products at the moment. We need somewhere to dump stuff. So let's just say that's down as dirt only. So that's no good for us. I don't really want them going too far away on the other hand, but maybe we don't have much of a choice. So let's just say none of that because you aren't flat. So you can go over there to dump if you really need to. Which means we need to update you to now also be over there. So how do we want this to look? Do we want to... I suppose... Well, this ramp goes up to here. Time we fill in on top, it's going to go to there. I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying to decide where we want it. And I really can't. I suppose let's just go down to that line, right? Let's just go down to that line. So let's start dumping there. Decision made. That's what we're doing. Don't do that. And if we go there, we said we needed nearly 3 for the ramp. So if we bring that down there, that should still leave enough space for trucks to get through there if they should really want to. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. It's going to mess this ramp up. Do we care too much? I don't think so. So let's get rid of that. And this single load dump, we need to obviously give you a new area. So you can just come over here and start working on this. Is that going to mess up these belts? It surely is. So let's not do that bit quite yet. We will do later on, but just not right now. Not until we've got this sorted and we've figured out, because we need to do some dirt dumping over here as well, actually. But maybe let's wait until this is done. So we should be seeing our mega excavator on the way there. Where's the other one? Where's the other one? Oh, he's already digging at the top there, look. Get on. Get on, mate. Right. Probably about time we finish up. A bit confused as to how long this video is because I've taken 2 calls during this so far. No suitable plant for mixed cargo. You're an absolute liar. Dirt, rock, and slag. Ah. That's because you only have dirt and rock dumps. You do dirt, rock, and slag. You do a lot of everything, to be honest. You're just like our go-to. So, we could probably start thinking about filling in some dirt over here. Although, are we still doing dirt here? We're still doing dirt over there, so we're not really in a rush for that. Although, they are not trying to dump any dirt from there at the moment. So let's do that. So we're actually dumping dirt down here. We could tidy this area up as well, get dirt dumped there. And then we're going to need to come over here and dump the dirt over here. Is this a priority right now? It probably is. So let's come over here. Let's get rid of... Do we want to get rid of that little bit of land there? No, it's probably fine. It's probably fine. So we want to come in at a height of 14 up to the edge. And then we want to ramp down to 4. Just like that. And that's just going to get a lovely little bit of grass on top, make it all a little bit nicer. Dirt Dumpinator Tower, where are you? You know, when I said that, I thought, that's definitely not the name I gave it, because that's ridiculous. It's going to be like the dirt... I couldn't remember. I couldn't think of what it might be. But I just thought that's not what it's going to be called. But it totally is. It totally is. So these guys have almost finished up here, which is great. These guys have started dumping. They have. That is also great. We are going to need to give them, actually, a little ramp somewhere, aren't we? I suppose let's just get them started, and then we'll think about where a ramp might go. They can go all the way over here, which is where I think a lot of them are going. But let's give them a slightly closer ramp, shall we? Yeah, I don't really want to do it in the dirt towers area. Oh, I haven't, because they are over there. That's the flattenator. Yeah, that's fine. So little bit of a ramp. So if we go to 13, oh yeah, that's fine. And I want you to do a slope. Are you doing a slope? It's hard to tell. You are not. Why are you not doing a slope? Because the 13's doing a slope? Because the 13's doing a slope. You're doing it again, aren't you? I can see. I can see. I don't know. So you would actually want to be at 14. And then 13 there. Now that might create a little bit of rock. But I think we're just going to have to live with that. It's fine. And then we will make a little ramp over here at some point. But there's quite a lot for us to dump there at the moment. And are we happy that's exactly where we're going to go? I think so. I was thinking maybe a little further forward, but I didn't think the ramp would be quite as big. So we can start also thinking about getting this down. Sort of like that. And it's going to take them some time to do that, and we're going to need an awful lot of rock. But they should be digging up this over here. You are complaining. What is going on here? We have a low supply of mechanical parts. Okay, that's our immediate concern. Problem sorted, hopefully. Struggling to find a destination it can reach. Is that just because you finished? Yes, and you're all trying to reach to bits which don't exist. That's absolutely fine, don't worry about that. So you are the Flattenator crew. You are going to come over and help do this. Bosh. Go. That's you sorted. Great job is struggling. He's an excavator. Mechanical parts. Excavator. Haul truck is struggling to find a destination it can reach. You have dirt. You... Oh, hang on. You got yourself stuck, haven't you? You totally got yourself stuck. Right, recover you. Wrong button. Recover you. No, that is the right button, isn't it? Yeah, you. And you. And you. Egypt. Absolute Egypt. Right, now we've got a little... Oh, look at this. I love this. I don't know why you decided to take that route. Look at them go! We've already got a little ramp there. Yeah, we are going to have to dig that bit up at some point, but that's absolutely fine. And they've started building the bottom of the ramp as well. And we're dumping... I forgot. So dumping dirt over there, because we hadn't finished this bit, they've just dumped a whole bunch of rock over there. Oh, so much rock. One day I will remember about that. Not today, clearly, but one day. So we'll mark all of this to be mined, and then we'll come back to that at some point and get the Flattenator crew on that. Ah, super frustrating. But there we go. It's all fine. It's all fine. Right. Still complaining about a low supply of mechanical parts. Well, I think it's going up now. Yeah, it's trending up, so I think we're okay. Vehicle parts we're obviously struggling with. Are you just still trying to fill up this? Yeah. It's because it is being told to keep it full. So it's doing what it should be. I think that's fine. We should have quite a lot of vehicle parts now in stock, though. We do. Not so much of the vehicle parts too, but everything else is looking fine. Trucks are super super busy. Like literally every truck we have pretty much. Something we could do, someone mentioned in the comments recently, apologies I don't have your name to hand, is to start taking off some of these trucks. And what is the... You carry 180/60, so it's like a 3-to-1. So we could take some of these off, 1, 2, 3, and give you a big boy. Take some of these off, 1, 2, 3, and give you a big boy. And the reason for that is these can handle anything that's dug up, but these trucks can also carry flat goods. So if we've got flat goods waiting to be transported, but we haven't got enough trucks, medium trucks to deal with it, that's a bit of a problem. So if we do that, that gives us more flat trucks to deal with moving some of that stuff around. They might still go off and do other bits. That's absolutely fine. What is your... There's no compatible excavator. Oh, because I've given you to that, but they can't put into that, so they would have to have bigger. Oh, okay. That's not really going to work then, is it? I thought they could still dump into those, but it's the other way. They can dump into those. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. No, I was going to leave it a... Oh, no, I'm going to give them an extra few, actually. Change my mind. I'll make it 25. No, I'm going to take a couple off. That's what I'm going to do. Okay. So what we actually need to do... I like these being like smaller ones, though, because they're a bit faster. So they can move around. So maybe we need to make the Flattenator like the fast team. So they only have little excavators. And maybe we should start thinking about upgrading some of those excavators to mega excavators. So if we say upgrade excavators, there we go, to mega excavators here. Look at the Flattenator and say do 3 of them. At least then we can give it some big trucks. They are absolutely hammering through this. The dirt trucks have finished dumping all the dirt, so we've got a bunch of trucks just with dirt that they just got stuck with. But what we can do there is we can pause the game while I think about this. We can say dumping designation, make sure it's all completely finished. It is. So you can come over here. You can come in at a height of 4 up to here. You can fill in all of that. All of that can now be dirt. So we need the dirt tower. We're going to give you an area. We're going to say, go away. New rectangle, and you're going to go up to there. So we're going to start getting this eyesore filled in. By the time they've done that, hopefully this bit will be done and they can start doing this as well. I've told them to do that, but I haven't told them to go down to level 3, have I? Which we're going to have to do... all the way up to there. We got stupid ramps in somewhere. Ah, that is the most frustrating thing, game. And let's also bring that down to there. And get rid of that and that tiny little bit there. And then we are also going to want to get rid of all of that pretty much. Because there's a whole bunch of hilly bits there that we do not want there anymore. Cool. Yeah, they are absolutely rinse that. In fact, there is also quite a lot of dirt there already. But we'll put another layer of dirt on top. That's absolutely fine. They are smashing through this rock area over here. They are smashing dirt down there as well. I might just pop that up to that, so then we can't have quite as many trucks picking up dirt. Because that's a lot of trucks picking up dirt. And maybe they should be off doing other things. Cool, right then. So, what have we done today? A fair bit of terraforming. We have started prepping this area, ready to expand the farm and ready to move all the belts and pipes coming down here somewhere. Obviously, these will have to come straight down the middle here. But yes, that will be the next thing. We have increased the amount of vehicle parts we are making. We've increased the amount of mechanical parts we are making. But today has largely been about building a lot of ramps. A lot of ramps and dumping a lot of stuff. And also walking you through this monster food processor. It doesn't look like that much when you're up here. Like, it doesn't look as complicated or as impressive as this. But it took me a long time. I also at one point had like relatively big gaps in a few places. Not by design, just sort of ended up that way, and then I had to go and move like everything back. Or like move this bit and then this bit and then this bit, and that took a long time as well. But yes, this is quite exciting. When we get this up and running, we can get some more food stuff in. We can maybe think about getting some chickens. Oh, it's good stuff. We have almost researched medical supplies 3. Almost. We can unpause that and that whilst it uses up these. Why not? You don't have enough of these coming in? I thought you should have enough of those coming in. I don't know. Can't bother to do the maths again. Cool. Right, we're going to finish up. I hope you were enjoying Captain of Industry. We will finish off Medical Supplies 3 next time. And then we can actually get this bit here planned out and then think about where the waste processing is going to go. This ramp will definitely be finished next time. And this one is also doing quite well, isn't it? So hopefully this one will get there as well. And it's all going to be absolutely amazing. I cannot wait. Do we need to give this a ramp down here? No, because they can all drive in over there. That's fine then. Cool. Right. Well, if you're enjoying it, hit the like button, comment, subscribe. Oh, we've got it. That's what we'll do next time. I will see you next time, Captain of Industry. And as always, thank you so very much for joining me. Oh, we didn't talk about salt. We need to do salt next time. We'll talk about salt as well.